Understanding different titles in the hood. This is a real life topic I always find myself educating people about who don't understand the difference. Now, I am going to explain this from my own personal perspective and experience, being that I was raised in the ghetto. In the ghetto, I was raised around hood brothers, street brothers, gangster brothers, real brothers, and pseudo brothers. Now, I use the word brothers because when I look at another man from the ghetto, I see him as a brother and not an enemy. It hasn't always been this way for me. I had to evolve into this loving, positive way of thinking. Now, back on track. A hood person is considered a person from the hood, but they are not involved in any type of hood activity. They just from the hood. They see what go on in the hood, of course. They see the pain. They see the struggles. Just like my autobiography, a product of my own environment. A hood brother is a product of his own environment. A gangster brother is the smart and wisest in the hood. A gangster graduated from the hood. Gangsters been there and done that. Gangsters try to uplift the hood as much as he could because he know the consequences. Gangsters call the shots without showing his face. Gangsters are well respected by many and hated by few. Street brothers are involved in street politics. Street brothers got his ears, his eyes, his time, and energy in the streets. Street brothers do business in the street. A street person home is in the streets. A street brother is living that fast life. For example, a street brother might get shot or go to jail on a drug or gun charge, although he knows his lifestyle is killing him, although he know the ghetto is trying to kill him, although he knows what comes with the streets. He returns back to the streets because the streets is all the street brother know. A street brother might be from the hood, but it doesn't mean he's a gangster. As a matter of fact, a street person can be from the suburbs. He or she just conduct their business in the hood and the streets. They know how to make moves in the streets because they have family and friends who are from the hood, who taught them the street game. To me, conducting business on the streets don't always have to be negative. You could sell jewelry or shirts out of the back of your trunk in the hood and be considered a street brother. When you are allowing your money and products to circulate throughout the hood, you are a street person. So there is a clean and dirty side of the streets. When you overcome the streets and do positive activities in the streets for the community, you are a street person conducting politics and business in the streets. A street brother always got a background, coming from a broken family, mother on drugs, father alcoholic in the streets or in prison since he or she was a toddler. Older cousins, aunties, uncles are street people conducting street business. Growing up around the street lifestyle in the hood, the street person accepts the street life naturally. The street life is survival. The street life is how a street person eat and feed his family. A street person becomes desensitized at a very early age. He learns how to become resilient at an early age, criminal minded, cunning, slick, and etc. The sad thing about street people is that they sometimes try to make a career out of doing street business. They don't think logical enough. Eventually, especially at a younger age where their brains aren't even developed yet, living in the hood. When I was in the hood doing business in the street, I had plenty of discussions of conducting business on the street corner, retiring in the streets, not really understanding reality at that moment. A gangster many years ago that the streets are designed to make you fail. A gangster learned many years ago that the streets are designed to make you fail. A gangster knows there's no pretty ending in the streets. It is a waste of life. The money, women, and material things don't always come fast like the outsiders always think it does. They are just on the outside looking in, my brother. Most street dudes these days aren't even making minimum wage. They risk their life on the street and make just as less. They are too busy on the lookout for the police, the robbers, and their own street friends trying to get over. They are too busy with their hands on the trigger and paranoid from taking drugs to even see clearly in the streets. So yes, a street person is someone who conducts business in the streets. He or she don't have to be from the ghetto or the hood. Street people come in all colors these days, if you ask me. The street culture today is a totally different culture where I come from. At the end of the day, I don't agree with any of it. Hood brothers are traumatized. Street brothers are traumatized as well. Gangsters are traumatized just as much. This is why they are gangsters. They push through all the negative forces fighting against them. They see a better way of life. They make wiser choices. They still see good in the bad. But gangsters are traumatized. I can go on and on about a hood brother, a gangster brother, a street brother. But now I want to give a short description of what a real brother is from my own personal experience. The real brother don't have to be from the hood. The real brother don't have to be a gangster. The real brother don't have to be the one conducting business in the street. A real brother is just a real person. When a real person comes in your presence, you feel the realness of a real person. Everybody claims to be the realest until a real genuine person walks into the room. A real person knows how to be themselves around anybody, any place, and any time. They always comfortable with who they are. A real brother perspective is much broader than many because they usually see the bigger picture when it comes to solutions in the hood. A real brother will tell you when you are wrong. A real brother will applaud you for your growth. See, the problem in the hood, many claim to be real, but they really not real at all. A real person always walk how they talk it. See, a real person put their priorities first. They speak to uplift the hood. They share personal experience to the youth so they don't make the same mistakes. Real people are resilient. Real people in the hood understand the consequences because they have been to hell and back. Real people separate themselves to grow. Then they come back to give. Real brothers understand the risk they take by going back to the hood to reach out because they know people may attempt to do great bodily harm due to jealousy and envy. Real people from the ghetto are the ones who decided to be responsible adults. Real people in the hood think long term, even if they still in the hood for the moment. Real people seem to always bounce back after a minor or major setback. While people are complaining, the real brother is working on a solution to his or her problem. Play the cards how they are dealt to them. Real people are everywhere. Earth is their turf. Being real is something that's inside of you. You could change clothes, but you can't change the real. Money don't change the real. The real change money. Real people have a moral compass, loyalty, respect for others, and relationships with good people in the hood that want to see a change in the community for future generations. Sometimes hood people and street people disagree with the real brother because they look at the real as a threat to their street income. I say outcome instead of income because sooner or later, out the feds will come. Real people understand the definition of being real to an uneducated hood person usually leaves them fighting unnecessary cases in the courtroom. The definition of a real person who understands how the world works, he or she has learned how to control their own environments. They will rather work a job or create their own jobs than to waste time in the streets, taking penitentiary chances. Being real in the hood can create enemies because everybody ain't real. Real people are realistic when it comes to reality. There is no fairy tale or room for fiction in their lives. There is no compromising their integrity. Real people from the ghetto are aware of the mental health issues in the hood without denying it. Real people are authentic, cool, and always true to themselves. This makes a lot of people who are not real very uncomfortable. Too many people in the ghetto are keeping it real in the wrong way. Real people in the hood don't care about trying to look rich. They are not trying to impress people to make it seem like they have money. When it comes to being real, there is much more to it. To me, a real person is the most effective in the hood because you can always depend on them. Real people don't care about having an image. Now, let's talk about the Sudu brother in the ghetto. When I think of the word Sudu, I think about a person that's not genuine with themselves or other people in and outside of the hood. They bogus and phony people. In the hood, there are many, and this is what make the hood more of a dangerous environment to be in. They smile in your face and plan your fall behind your back. Pseudo hood, pseudo gangsters, pseudo street, and pseudo real people are a big problem in the hood. When you pretend to be something you are not, eventually you will attract what you are pretending to be like. When things start looking bad, when they get real on the streets, the pseudo person run behind the sycamore tree. The first 48-hour episode on television is a perfect example of what I am talking about here. It is an embarrassment. The prison mindset is a real in the hood. In the beginning of this book, I explained the effects of having a prison mindset and how it correlates with the same mental, emotional, spirit, and physical condition as a prison inmate. You are robbed of all of your senses. It is called sensory deprivation. I know this to be true because I suffered and overcome this condition as well in solitary confinement. I didn't get to enjoy the natural pleasures of all my senses because the ghetto was killing me. The ghetto robbed me of many things because I was a product of my own environment. But yes, black people suffer sensory deprivation the most. When you study the ethos of a people, you wouldn't be so quick to judge them. On top of suffering from a prison mindset, black people in the ghetto don't know who they are. They are strangers to each other, looking for an identity in the wrong places. What they are looking for is right inside of them. We are stuck looking on the outside of ourselves for answers. This is where the pseudo image is created, trying to be other than what they really are. Pseudo people in the hood are the ones who always end up snitching on people who are really active in the street life. Pseudo people can't stand the heat when they attract the heat. They are known as pretenders. Many are professionals at covering up their pseudo image. They seek to impress those around them without even informing. They just want to fit in. Why? I always wonder to myself about people who seem to run a danger, to affiliate themselves around people who are targets. That's a deep form of prison mindset. Likewise, in prison, many inmates try to get in where they fit in for protection. They always felt rejected, so they get themselves into all of these prison beefs, adding more time to their sentence just for being affiliated with a certain group of people, not putting in the actual work. This is how it goes. Pseudo people come in different forms and fashion. The pseudo lifestyle is a dangerous one. I allowed a pseudo street friend in my circle, and I found out the hard way after he snitched on me due to an assault with a deadly weapon charge back in 1994. This was many years ago, so I have no problem expressing my experience. I don't have a problem expressing my experience. I ended up in a prison cell for 6 years straight. I took my lick on the chin and did my time. I learned from my mistakes and realized that I put myself behind bars. This is why I tell people to just accept themselves. Don't create a pseudo image to impress other people. Never get yourself into a life you don't understand. Today, we are at the highest pinnacle of pseudoism due to social media. You can be who you want to be behind the keyboards, but when you come into full human contact with another person, they are not the same person they appear to be online. The problem with that situation is that people really start to believe they are indeed the fictional person they made up. In the ghetto, many people are dying and being sent away to prison because they choose the pseudo way. When you fake and try to pass as the real thing, what's in the dark will eventually come to the light. Pseudo people in the hood are like undercover police. They masquerade themselves in different images to appear like the crowd they desire to be like or trying to deceive. When things get heated up, they back off and their cover is blown. Images in the hood is killing you. Alcohol in the hood is killing you. The hood, the streets, the pseudo lifestyle is killing you. In the ghetto, the gangsters and the real people know. Despite what I had to go through in the hood, I will always remember where I come from. The hospital I was born in sat dead smack in the middle of the hood. I was born in the hood, so I was a hood baby. I did all type of business and politics in the street for money, so I was a street brother. The streets gave me the title of being real because I never folded under pressure. I stood firm when I was battle tested. I did the crime and I did the time without snitching on the next person just to save myself. I survived the streets and prison without bullet wounds or stab wounds. Titles are nothing when you lose people close to you in the hood or get sentenced to prison without anybody in the ghetto standing behind you through your hard times. You are either a man or a boy developing into a mature man. I have done plenty of things in the hood, but I never been the pseudo type. I never experienced drugs, raped, or molested a child. I am just a man who was raised in an unfortunate environment because God put me there for a spiritual reason. The ghetto was trying to kill me. Being a phony, a fake, a fraud in the streets can get your life cut short. Playing games in the ghetto is detrimental. Creating a pseudo image is one of the worst type of people in the ghetto. The consequences are always grave. So yeah, this is the pseudo type of person on the surface of things. Over time, adopting the pseudo type of lifestyle just to fit in can lead to future health issues on top of all the alcohol, drugs, and bad food that's consumed in the ghetto.